Good morning, dear colleagues. My name is Taeke. I'm director of this botanical garden, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to the European IrisBG User Conference 2016. Sounds fantastic, I hear it. And it's a pleasure, but also a pride that our Hortus Botanicus Amsterdam is the venue for this meeting. A pleasure because it's always nice to welcome so many like-minded colleags, professionals, especially as they come from so many different habitats, like you, from Germany, Israel, Norway, Sweden, the United Kingdom, and the Netherlands, and maybe even more, I don't know. But it's not only pleasure, but also pride, because my colleague Reinoud Havinga is such a strong ambassador for IrisBG and is one of the co-developers, as all of you are, of this tool. People working in botanical gardens share many interests and face similar challenges. We have much in common, as different as we are. All around the world there are botanical gardens, and for me they are museums with a living collection. We share our goals, and the British Museum Association has a very nice definition. Museums enable people to explore collections for inspirations, learning and enjoyment. They are institutions that collect, safeguard and make accessible artifacts and specimens which they hold in a trust for society. And I think that's true for all botanical gardens. We have collections that are ours, but we like to share it with so much as possible people from the outside. At the moment I talk about similarities, I'm equally aware about all the many distinctions between botanic gardens all around the world. Our garden, for example, is not one garden. It has been developed, and it has been developed by changes from outside. It was founded in 1638 as a major research and development institute. Imagine, at that time, innovative. Why? Because the mayor of the city had experienced a plague, an epidemic outburst that caused 20,000 casualties of a population of 200,000 people in Amsterdam. At that moment, after that disaster, he decided there had to be more knowledge, one unique language about plants, and there had to be done research, and to share this research with doctors, apothecaries, and other medicine professionals. So he instituted the garden. And after that, no pest like this reoccurred. And in the golden age of the Netherlands, when we had colonies on all continents with all different kinds of climates, the Hortus became the playground for the wealthy tradesmen who brought beautiful or economically useful plants to Amsterdam. And in its development, our garden became more of an academic institution only in 1875, when it became part of the university of the city. A place for science and scientists, with Hugo de Vries as one of its most notable directors. And then 30 years ago, the university decided, why do we have a botanical garden? We don't need a botanical garden for research, we don't need it for education, we don't need it for scientific development. And so they had plans to build a new museum on this spot, but luckily we are in Amsterdam, and Amsterdam citizens are very stubborn and outspoken, and they took action, and they were the reason that the closure and destruction of this remarkable cultural heritage was not executed. So thanks to the citizens of Amsterdam, this garden is still open and actual garden. This revolution gradually developed into an evolution, and our garden is now independent. We now survive because we have adapted, like plants, to different situations, to change demands that the society poses us. And now on this very small spot, 1 hectare in the center of Amsterdam, where we have a collection of 4,000 species from 5 continents and several more different climate zones. We receive 150,000 visitors each year, more of 50% of them coming from all around the world to visit Amsterdam and then to enjoy in this beautiful city a small piece of natural world. We are small, we are expensive to visit. I don't know whether many of you are charging their visitors €8.50. We do, without shame. We are rich in heritage, we are rich in history, we are poor in money. And we are a unique botanic garden, which is of course true for all you and your gardens. We share, however, a very important issue that makes us different from any organization. We have our beautiful natural collection, our living collection. What we share is that we have to provide for intellectual, physical and administrative care, conservation of the collection. And in these times we are strongly depending on IrisBG. It is developed by Harvard, Ostgaard and all his clients. Initially I think the people from Stavanger, they are here, no? Oslo, they were part at the beginning, but also now with the help of all of you. And I appreciate it very much that Reinoud is taking such a catalyst role in this process. A process in which you are not here to sit down and wait and at the end of the day look at your watch and think, okay, it's over. No, it's an interactive process what you are going to start today, in which you will help develop IrisBG even more and even better. It's to you to make use of the knowledge and the experience of all the colleagues around and of those who are here, but equally so to share your experiences. And I think with this constellation here, it's rainy outside, so no distractions from the beautiful garden. Stay inside today. It's technical weather, you can stay inside. With this, I think I can wish you a very inspirational and successful exchange, and the floor is yours, I would say. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
For those who didn't note down the name, this slide should have been up there, but so good morning, everybody. So thank you very much, Taeke, for a wonderful start of the day.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and thanks so much to everybody who managed to get to Amsterdam. I mean, I think a lot of the gratitude can go to Reinoud, who's a fantastic person in terms of engaging the community. We've had several conferences before. This is the first one we've had in Europe, and now we have 30 something delegates, so that's fantastic. I realize also Øyvind is here. He's the guy. There was a slight mispresentation here. Øyvind is the one who built the software now probably 20 years ago. Just remember that it's 20 years, and Iris has been sort of redesigned by Øyvind 3 times. So we're in the 3rd sort of generation, and I think Oslo. Where's Oslo? Oslo, yeah. That's the first garden using Iris. So there are a lot of what should we call it? Brave people who trusted us. You know, it's easier now when you. Yeah, well, applaud to you for being. You know, I said yesterday to Hugo from the first garden in Israel, Reinhard, the first garden on the continent, etc. And
very dramatic.
Yeah. Well, if you buy a car, you look at the model and you see what's this model? It's called Chuppy, and nobody's bought it before. You don't buy it. You go for a Volvo or a Mercedes. So some of you had the braveness and the integrity to make up your own mind, and we're really grateful. And now we can celebrate probably to pass 100 gardens this year. We hope for that. So it's easier for the latecomers, or whatever you call it in the Dutch, to make up their mind. But thank you very much for your support. We'll talk a bit more about that later. So, Rana? Yeah.
I will. To continue on what Howard just said, I was not so brave when I was actually very scared. And from what we used to have to IrisBG. So I tried to involve as many people as I could from the beginning, and we practically started off with 2 gardens. One of the other garden is Belmonte Arboretum, and Miriam Lemmens is sitting in the back. And the reason for that was also because from our previous software, that was not suitable for what we wanted to achieve with the data. But there was one big thing that we had, which I would miss very much, and that's a community of users in the Netherlands. We were using this software with practically every serious garden in the Netherlands. So by leaving this, I would leave the community, and this was my main concern, actually. So, so for me, it's very rewarding to see such a large community here. Not only Dutch, but also European gardens, and I feel that this last concern that I had, the main concern, has plenty good answer. It's not a concern anymore. Sorry for my loud English. Okay, so just a short introduction to the program today. We'll have mainly users talking, and so it's really to share experience and to get to know each other as sources of information, to make more out of Iris. So what the focus of the day in getting more out of your collection management software and your data is mainly in 3 bits. So first, working together. It's one of the main things in Iris, is that you can use it with a team and not on your own. This is for me, and I think for the Dutch community, very interesting to learn more about, also from the Norwegians and Christopher from English Heritage, that are more used to working with a large group of people on the data. For the Netherlands, the situation was typically that there was one curator doing everything with the data, afraid of letting other people use it, or add or change things. And the same goes for me, so I'm here to learn from you how you can do this. Because I believe it's better, but yeah. Second session before the lunch is efficiency. So how can you do most with your data with as little effort as possible, be most effective, spend the least time at your computer, or do more things while spending the same time. That's usually what it will lead to. But so efficiency, more technical bit, and then after the lunch, the third session is actually what it really is all about, because we have this data, we have this mantra in botanic gardens of we have to document our plants, but that's not enough. We're documenting these things, it takes a lot of effort. We can do a lot of things to reduce the effort, but eventually what it comes down to is what are we doing with these data? We cannot just say we're documenting plants and that's it. We have to think about what do we want to do with this documentation. And these answers can be really simple, like I'm printing labels based on the information in my database. That's already a very good answer. But it's just important to realize that you have your data to do things and not just to have it. And then at the end, there will be a presentation about maps, and Howard will take the floor back and talk about new features. However, we'll also start the morning session with the cooperating things. Then there will be drinks at 4. We will we will look that we will not let the day go too long, because we have to also get out of this room in time and move on to the dinner, which is earlier than originally planned. So we'll not linger on today, but we might have some additional things in the garden to do in the garden in the afternoon. But I'll come back to that later. So now we can start the morning session, which is moderated by Anneleen.
Yeah.
So Anneleen is the curator of the Oslo Botanic Garden, and she will take over here and introduce